Hi, and welcome to this installment of Bergeron Briefs. My name is Arthur Bergeron. If you haven't seen this show before, I'm an elder law attorney. I work at Myrick O'Connell. There are 40 of us in Worcester and 20 right next door in Westboro. I try to do these shows as a supplement to the seminars and other things that I do in the area that talk really about different elder law issues. But the purpose of this show is to really familiarize you with the people who you really need to know if you're a senior, which I broadly define as somebody who is over 60. One of the people you really want to know now, and you want to know what she's doing, is Carol Dienzo, who lives here in Northborough and is involved in a really interesting initiative affecting Northborough. Carol, thank you very much for coming onto the show.
My pleasure, Arthur.
Now, before we talk about the initiative, which is the so-called Dementia-Friendly Communities Initiative, so tell me, how did you get here? Are you a local?
I am a local in Northborough. I've been here since 1995.
Oh, that is a long time. That's a long time.
It
doesn't qualify you
no,
as a townie.
I'm not a townie, but I am here
stretch,
for a little while.
Yeah.
I put 3 kids through the school system, and they're all doing very well.
Oh, that's great. They're all and they're grown up now?
They're all grown up. I'm
Yeah.
a grandma.
That's great. That's
and
great.
then
and what do you do? What do you do for a living?
I am what they call the nurse carpenter.
Yeah, you look like a nurse.
So I am a nurse.
You're not showing the carpenter side. So
No, I don't have my tool belt with me. But
so what does a nurse carpenter do? I don't know of a lot of them.
I own,
Only
no,
you.
there aren't many out there. I own a construction company, and the focus of our construction company really is to help people, to educate them as to what they can do in their home and provide the needed adaptations so that they can stay there safely for as long as possible.
And I know when I originally met you, and I've since referred a lot of people to you, or at least suggested they should talk to you, it was because, as you know, I do a lot of stuff involving folks who have dementia, either because of Alzheimer's or other diseases. And you've got this wonderful set of presentations regarding adapting the home to being really safe, right?
That is our goal.
So that if you've got dementia, you can kind of stay at home.
Stay at home as long as possible. That is the goal as well.
And once again, in terms of your day job, you do this in this whole area around Northborough? You go
We
along,
go
in case people are wondering.
all across the state, mostly from, say, Worcester to Wellesley and up and down.
So that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is.
And now you've become involved in this interesting initiative.
Well,
so can we just talk about that a little bit and how you got interested in it and what you're doing, and then we'll talk about kind of where you think this should be going in the long run.
The interesting part about it is we do have family members that have suffered from dementia and know the obstacles that they face, not only within their home, but leaving their home. And I think while I can help within the home, what happens when you step out of that home? And I've heard some disturbing things for people who have caregivers who have brought their loved one to places and have not felt welcome or have not been able to interact with the community. And I think that's something going forward I wanted to be involved in. And when this came across to me through Bay Path, of which I am a board member.
Through Bay Path Elder Services.
Elder Services, I'm sorry.
And I know we've had Christine Alessandro, who runs Bay Path here as a guest.
Such a wonderful person.
A visionary and who can make the trains run on time also.
Exactly.
So a wonderful leader. Yes.
And someone who's really took the ball and has really run with it. And as you well know, there are the 3 towns that are involved in this. It's Marlborough, Hudson, and Northborough. They're the pilot towns, shall we say. And we are following this little path along the way to learn both ourselves and in the community of how and what we're going to do, and it's very community focused. So
the goal is to be talking about how Northborough itself could be a so-called dementia-friendly
community. It's called something called Come to Be Dementia Friendly.
Come to Be Dementia Friendly.
That is the name of the initiative that we've chosen for Massachusetts.
And by the way, is there a website that people could click to if they wanted to learn more about this?
The Act on Alzheimer's website is available. And there is a lot of information on the Bay Path Metro West Caregiving website.
And by the way, we'll provide some banners for people for this show, who are watching the show, if they want to be learning more about this.
And going forward over the next 2 weeks, you'll hear and you'll see these posters posted around town. We're having a community meeting.
So we're going to do that one.
Okay, go ahead.
You're going to see that poster. You're going to see that poster.
You'll see it in the doorways and in the byways. And
Come to Be Dementia Friendly. And these posters, the lucky person who got to put all these up is who?
Ed Murphy has done most of it. He's
Yeah.
on our action team.
And who is Ed Murphy?
Ed Murphy is a part of Beaumont and Solomon Health Center, and he's been wonderful. And we have a great action team. We've got police and fire. Jocelyn Eckhart is my co-chair. She's the outreach coordinator at the Northborough Senior Center. Kelly Burke is a part. Vicky is a part.
And when you say you have an action team, so can you just talk generally about kind of what the process is through which you're going to be working with folks in order to try to figure out how Northborough could be a dementia-friendly community?
So it starts off by formulating this action team, which we have formulated. And the action team was created, I was asked to be a part of it, is picking different people who are willing to be a part from different aspects of the community. And we have a pretty much full list of it. Somebody from medical, somebody from senior centers, from the banking industry, and going forward. And what the action team does is going to be to ask the community to help fill out surveys. Because it'll be very different for each town what that survey is going to come forth with. And the surveys are divided into 11 different sections of what the community is a part of. So
and each of the surveys is meant to really kind of focus on the issues in a particular area of town that might of folks that may be dealing with folks with dementia. So can you talk about, and you as the folks in the action team have decided yourselves which of those areas you really want to be focusing on.
And
so can you talk a little bit about, not necessarily, I'm not going to make you name the 11, but can you give us a sense of what those different groups are going to be?
So the business community, and that's everything, every kind of business that's in town, from the hair salons to the gas stations to the markets to the lawyers to anything that creates a business in town, of which I am also a part of. And then there is the service industries, as well as
service industries, meaning what?
Service industries. That's a good question.
Is that like home care people?
Well, we could do yes. So we're trying to define out what is considered a business and what's considered more of a service.
Oh, I see. So you're figuring
service business.
That's what you're doing, is figuring it out.
So we don't have a hospital like Marlborough does, but we do now have the new two of them. One has already opened the clinics, the Carewell Clinic, and there's a new one opening up the Medi Post right across the street. So that's the medical community, and we are filled with a wealth of doctors and different type of medical community, physical therapy and whatever. So that's another whole section.
I see. And in each of those would be, I would suppose, if I'm in a doctor's office, then as a doctor or a nurse or whatever, I may be seeing a lot of these folks who may have dementia, but that experience is going to be very different from if I'm working in a bank.
That's very true.
And I'm seeing people in terms of the issues and stuff.
And so that's another community, the banking community, home care, the legal and financial, the local government. Coming into town hall, that's another different, you're accessing the town clerk and paying your bills and things of that nature, and how can we help the town deal with people who have some issues. And then the residential, the people who are living day to day with this, and so they're a big driving force as to what do they see a dementia-friendly community being.
So a piece of what you're doing is actually trying to outreach to folks who have dementia now?
Yes, they're caregivers.
Early stage, or they're caregivers. That's terrific. That's terrific, to be able to see things through their eyes.
Yes.
Right, because I know oftentimes when I'm doing these presentations, I'll say the hard part about Alzheimer's for so many people is it's not regarded as a disease, just an embarrassment.
Exactly, and they isolate so quickly.
So it's really wonderful if you're actually outreaching to people who have dementia, because it's like it almost becomes a positive that you want to be sharing their experience as opposed to their being kind of embarrassed about it.
Exactly. The whole goal is really to also bring them and be part of this decision-making process through these surveys. And that's the initial thing. That's what our first meeting or our second meeting in the community is about, is trying to get people to come to volunteer to help administer the surveys as well as to be a part of the surveys. And
tell me a little bit, if you could, about kind of what the survey process is. Is there like kind of one official survey, or are these different surveys?
There is an individual survey for each of these 11 sectors.
I see.
So the business community will excuse me, a different one than the community member will see, or the resident, or even the faith community. That's one I hadn't mentioned. But the faith community is a very large participant in this, hopefully.
Yes.
And
just a crucial group.
right, exactly,
right?
Very much so, for all those reasons, for
Yes.
end of life, for everything. So
Like I remember hearing a story in the course of doing some of these conversations about the lady who was asked to not come back to the services because she was disruptive. Well, and you get it.
Yeah.
That's true from the perspective of that service. But the question is, so is there an alternative to that? How do you figure that out? Because if ever anybody needed God, it's when you're going down this road.
exactly.
Right. So the notion that you need to be able to focus that way.
Faith to go forward.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so maybe that's one of the things we'll look at. How would they like to see the inclusiveness of somebody who may have dementia within their their services?
Yeah.
And so maybe it will be a room that, like they have the kids' room, or a special service.
Or a special service.
Yeah,
That'd be a wonderful
because then
service.
it could be a service that's very geared to somebody with dementia, as you well know, has different kind of learning processes
Yes.
and absorption processes.
And it
shall
could
we
be
say.
a real interfaith service.
It could be.
That could be ironically one of those things that really, through that service, that draws people together in a way
That's-
that they normally wouldn't be drawn together.
Absolutely.
Because of that shared real need. right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And the notion of designing a service would be a very interesting thing. I'm just thinking about it from having gone to a lot of really boring services. to design a service that's totally about being in the present,
Yes,
because it's with people who,
are living moment to moment.
right? Because as we both know, one of the, or at least have kind of learned. Because once again, you've had family members. I've often mentioned to people, I got involved in this heavily when my mother died in the nursing home, one of the
Right.
ones over in Marlborough in 1991. But I've really come to appreciate how terrible I was then. As a son, clueless. My dad,
You
clueless.
just had no education in it.
But the idea of being able to provide the education so that really the caregiver can learn to be in the present. Mm-hmm. Because you're not going to teach the person with Alzheimer's to not be in the present.
Correct.
Can't go there.
Right.
So to have a service that is really about the present
Being
would be
in the
wonderful.
present, it would be.
That'd
It
be
would
really
That's-
magic. So that sounds great. That sounds
Yeah.
very exciting.
We're very excited in Northborough to get this off the
Yes.
roll.
And I think that you were telling me that you've got a community meeting that's coming up soon.
Yeah, May 10th, 6:30 p.m. at the Northborough Senior Center.
At the Northborough Senior Center.
Kelly Burke has been kind enough to open up the center for us, and there is a
May 10th. That's
it's a
really soon.
Tuesday.
We got to
Yes,
get this
it's
show on.
next Tuesday.
I got to tell my friend Kathy Dalglish, this show's got to go on right away. Right?
Well, they've been very great. They've put it on their banner, so if
Yeah.
you didn't catch it today, it'll be running on the cable banner.
Oh,
and
that's great.
There's a sign in town, the Lions Club sign. As I was driving by, I saw it. So
and
the word is getting
if you
out.
show up at the meeting, they're not going to make you do anything or give money or any
Nope,
of these
nope,
things.
nope. It's information. There'll be a little presentation by Cindy Cormier, who
Yeah.
you well know.
Yeah.
She is our overhead chair and our liaison from Baith Path. That's helping us down this path. And she'll be giving you a presentation as to what this is and what about it and how you can help in your community go forward. And
Which is pretty wonderful.
It
Which
is
pretty
wonderful. It's
And-
absolutely
and-
wonderful.
And once again, full disclosure. So I've been, as you know, I've been interested in this for a while.
Yeah.
And went out to Minnesota with Christine Alessandro and with Kelly Burke, and the COA directors from Hudson and Marlborough to learn about this, to see if it was, because they've done it, and to see if it was all smoke and mirrors. And we really came back feeling like, wow, this is really great.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to be watching it really blossom here. And one of the suggestions that we found ourselves having when we came from Minnesota was that it was important, in order to really drive this, that there be staff, which is why Christine from Bay Path was able to find the money to hire a person, this woman, Cindy Cormier, to help each one of the volunteer groups go. And I just mentioned that because, once again, people, you get into these volunteer things and you feel like it's like a time sink, But people should be aware of the fact that you're coming in to really be a volunteer.
yes,
you know, because the trains are being run by a staff person.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry about
No,
that.
Cindy is absolutely wonderful creating all of our materials, and you will meet her on May 10th if you happen to come. And she has really kept us on track as well, which is very important because we're new to this as well. We're all kind of new to this, but
So
it's
tell
exciting.
me from your own perspective, you know, everybody, when you say the term dementia-friendly community, different things pop into people's minds, you know. From your perspective, in the long run, what would that kind of community look like? So if you wanted a place in which, I always describe it as being a place in which no matter how bad my memory is, I can still stay in my hometown and stay in my house and not be embarrassed, and still go out and still go to a restaurant and go to the bank and do all this stuff, and not be, and end every day saying to myself, I had a good day. I may not remember quite what I did,
Right.
but I'm going to be able to say I had a good day.
Because
you know.
everybody you met along the way treated you with respect, which I think is very important, and helped you. Because no matter what, we all need a helping hand. Whether we are a CEO of a large company or a little child trying to cross the street, we all need a helping hand. And
Well, that's a nice way of putting it.
that's kind of how I
that's a good
see
metaphor,
this dementia-friendly community coming together, and it's not only for people who have dementia, because I think it's the funding ground, but we're trying to get students involved as well, because all ages will be affected by this, whether it's you yourself or your grandmother or your mother or whatever. And the more we can all learn what it is, to all the knowledge that we have going forward, and how we can make our community a welcome community for somebody who has it. So as soon as you step out of that now safe house that you have into the community, you can, as you say, go to the bank, go put gas in your car. Maybe you can't be driving it, maybe your caregiver is driving it, but you are still a part of that whole interaction. You can go to a restaurant and you're not going to see a menu that has 72 items, which is your favorite diner in New York City used to have, but now you see 2 or 3 items, or that the community gets to know you enough that as soon as they see you, you know your favorite dish is fish and chips. And so that when you come into that, they're like, hi, Mrs. Dienzo, I'll get your order of fish and chips ready.
Right now.
Because
That's right.
they know. And that to me is a wonderful dementia-friendly community. And it's not only dementia related, but that's a good starting point because it is something that is going to be affecting more than not.
And that's interesting that you talk about the students, really kind of getting kids involved so they kind of get what their grandparents are going through right now, and what maybe somebody on their street is going through. And it kind of builds.
And if
from
they
there.
happen to be in a store and they see somebody who is standing there confused, they may now know what they can do to help that person. And I think that's just going to be a wonderful, hopefully, a wonderful endeavor going forward.
And interestingly, one of the people who is involved in the Marlborough group that is working is the woman who runs the nursing program at Assabet at the vocational
she's
school.
Wonderful.
She's terrific.
Yes.
And she is, one of the things that she's doing is she's going across all of the teachers in the different areas, in cosmetology and in their restaurant, and going through and saying, so what have been your experiences, because they run programs right there.
Exactly.
So for the kids, what have been your experiences in terms of dealing with folks with dementia, right? So that the kids are coming, kids who are being trained to be in all these places, whether it's, you had just mentioned before we started, this notion of really focus on gas stations, for example, right?
Yes.
Or to the restaurant, or to the beauty parlor, right?
Or your plumber and your electrician. You can call somebody who is familiar with what the processes you are going with, and a plumber who would have some insight and be able to talk and explain to you in your language what needs to be done and how to do it, and things of that nature.
Which is and that's what that school is training. It's training a lot of folks who are from here, but who are also probably going to be staying here. And providing exactly those kinds of local services. So touching the students is just like it's a great idea.
It is.
It's a great idea. Well, listen, that's really exciting. It's exciting that you're doing it. I was delighted when I heard that you became, she gets to be called the champion, the champion from Marlborough. You said you have a co-chair or a co-champion?
A co-champion, Jocelyn, who is the outreach coordinator at the senior center, and so she's my co-chair.
Oh, that's terrific.
So yeah.
That's terrific. So listen, good luck with all of this.
Thank you.
I hope that you have found this informative, This could be really important for you in your town. I think it's important for every one of the people that I've talked to as an elder lord. These are the people that I deal with all the time. And the notion of having this place, as we've talked about, where no matter how old you are, right, that in your hometown, you can stay in your hometown and continue to live a happy life and a safe life. That's a wonderful, if we can achieve that, that's a wonderful thing.
It would be a wonderful goal.
So thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at the next installment of Bergeron Briefs. Thank you very much.